This one was probably written at 2 a.m. I think they were all written at 2 a.m. I'm just trying to explain my frame of mind when I was writing these. Milo is a 23-year-old medical student with past medical history of chronic cyclical exam-induced exercise decompensation disorder and video game water level associated aquatic cynicism syndrome, a collection of symptoms associated with terrible video game dynamics characterized by loud complaining rants, creation of memes, and eye-rolling when faced with triggers, who presented with vomiting and generalized joint pain following a scuba dive session in a coral reef off the Caribbean. Prior to presentation, friends reported that Milo had been in his general good state of health. He was last seen taking a selfie for the Book of Faces, showing him in his scuba gear with the caption, #SummerGoals, #Better Vacation Than Yours, #Totally Not Jet Lagged, #1 Half a Doctor, #Eat More Kale, #It's Not a hashtag, it's an Octothorpe, and #Good Under Pressure. His diving guide also supplied that he had asked many questions before agreeing to begin the dive, concerned with whether his suit was waterproofed enough to bring his phone, if he would be safe from sharks, how poisonous the jellyfish were, and whether anyone had ever died during previous outings. He also remained visibly anxious despite multiple reassurances that the oxygen tanks had been checked and certified full. He dove down to the same depth, but after a half hour, a stray piece of algae brushed against Milo's arm, and he quickly surfaced in order to swim back to the ship. His instructor joined him later and checked that he was alright. Milo, having had time to calm down, said he was okay other than being shaken up and a bit sore from all that swimming. He returned to his hotel where he had a nice seafood dinner with a friend he knew from the area. Shortly after dinner, he vomited and began complaining of stomach cramps and pain all over. In the ED, he is febrile to 101.9, tachycardic, and tachypneic, with unremarkable physical exam findings other than reduced sensation in the lower extremities. Review of systems is positive for diarrhea, headache, stomach pain, joint pain, and nosebleeds. You are the emergency medicine resident on call. After receiving a page on your way to get lunch, you go to see him and determine that he most likely has A. Somatic symptom disorder, B. Ironically bad timing, just as you got a way to go to lunch, C. General anxiety disorder, D. Scombroid poisoning, E. Ciguatera poisoning, F. Jellyfish sting, G. Seafood allergy, H. Decompression sickness, I. Neuralgia paresthetica, J. Totally jet lag, K. Buyer's remorse, L. The curse of the ocean, M. The curse of the ocean, M. Conversion disorder, or N. Factitious disorder. That's a lot to unload, or a lot to unpack, if you will. It's pulmonary embolism.
I was about to say it was H, but then like
That's the bends, right?
yeah, the bends. But the fact is he didn't. But that would have happened immediately if he swam too fast up. Really, pulmonary embolism. Huh.
I don't know. He also has joint pains and
He has stomach cramps and pain all over, and he said after dinner he vomited.
Not getting
and he had a
involved
nice
here.
Scener. So it's not the seafood.
What did he didn't say
Generalized anxiety
specific
disorder.
fish.
That's for sure. He has generalized anxiety disorder, he has decompression sickness, and he also has a pulmonary embolism.
But decompression sickness is that gonna? But like literally, wouldn't that be as soon as you like swam fast?
I thought it was more acute.
No, it comes up later. You have nitrogen bubbles in your body that are diffused in the thing, and then after you surface later on, they precipitate.
Yeah, but how much later on though?
I didn't catch it. I was reading from here.
So the point is, it said here is that like he had time to calm
I
down.
don't know what he ate.
He was sore from all that swimming, and then later on when he returned to his hotel, then he got.
Yeah, same
stomach
day. That makes
pain.
sense. If it was a week, then yeah. But like.
All right, so we'll keep decompression sickness. We'll keep C and H then.
We're narrowing the differential diagnosis.
Decompression
I
sickness.
forget what scromboid is. Is that from the? I forget if that's from the snake or from like the pufferfish.
So what's with the thing that what's with the thing that he has like the piece of algae brushing past him?
It just scared him. It's a panic attack or something. It wasn't a panic attack. It was his anxiety.
I know there's certain algae that are poisonous, right? To the.
But he has a swimsuit on, or like a scuba gear.
Yeah, so that shouldn't do anything. But also, like, he's febrile as well. He's tachycardic. He has unremarkable reduced sensation. Maybe I think it's decompression sickness. Honestly.
It is decompression sickness.
Yeah, I'll go with that then.
So generalized.
You literally had access to my slides to load this on here.
Why would I look at them? That takes the fun out of it.
Well, I doubt you
We already know that's him. We have multiple questions.
What?
We looked at multiple answers.
Well, excuse me.
So C and H. I'll call it. All right. It's H.
I decided to go with the most correct answer here.
Oh, this is a bad question.
Appreciate that to get this question on one slide, like those margins. If you're trying to put a resume together right now, These are the kind of margins that you want to do.
It's getting your resume to fit on one-page margins.
Yeah, what's the time course for the bends?
In this question, we address the question of decompression sickness. It's also called caisson disease, also known as the bends, the chokes, and the staggers, which really do sound like great rock band names. Okay, so you're right, there's a difference between decompression sickness and decompression illness. They call sickness where you get the joint pain, shortness of breath, I'll get into that in a little while, but specifically decompression illness is when gas comes out of solution in your body and leads to an embolus. So gas embolus specifically is known as decompression illness, and that's the differentiation. So congrats to you, because that's like next level stuff here. We're going to talk a little bit about Henry's law. So the entire science behind this is that the solubility of a gas is related to the pressure above the liquid. The entire concept here is that when people go on a dive, they go down, and as you go further down in the ocean, the pressure around you increases. So usually, we walk around all the time, like when you went up here on the elevator, well, you were ascending, and it's not specific to the ocean or scuba diving. The thing is, usually the body has time to compensate. What happens is that usually the body dispels the additional gas that comes out of solution. You breathe it out to get rid of it. But when you ascend too quickly and the pressure changes too quick, you can't compensate enough, and you get the symptoms. The symptoms are based on where you're forming these gas bubbles. So joint pain is one of the most common. They call it the bends because people's joints would bend because they'd be in pain. You can get rashes. You can get neurological symptoms like ascending numbness, headaches, nausea, shortness of breath. It's very rare actually now because they know how to ascend safely. Like if you do it slow enough, they have different tables that they look at, and you treat it with a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Most people do not actually get it to this point where it would cause death. Anyway, we have some fun facts. So there's a song called The Bends by Radiohead. There was an episode of House about decompression sickness, somebody who went diving and then went on an airplane, so if you want to double your fun there. It's called caisson's disease because you don't, as I said, need to be in the ocean to get symptoms from this. When they build tunnels, they need to get rid of the water in the area where they're building it, so they use like a watertight structure that seals off the area where they're building.
Oh.
And then when they would come out of the area, it would have the same exact pressure effect.
That's pretty cool. So
How did they treat it on House when they were in the airplane? They land the plane?
They actually applied pressure to his body. That was how they diagnosed it, because at first they thought they had seafood on the plane, and they thought it was ciguatera poisoning, which can also cause a rash and joint pains and things like that, nausea. But when somebody was trying to hold him down so that they could do a lumbar puncture, he actually relaxed. Like he wasn't.
Why
in as
would
much
they do
pain.
a lumbar puncture on the plane?
Because they thought he had meningitis, and they were concerned that it would. Yeah, it's House. The entire point is that you decrease the pressure. So if you press on the body or adding pressure back, it's basically what the hyperbaric chamber does. Except that's how they figured it out. And they're like, oh.
Yeah, what he said. Goodbye, beautiful people.